Hyundai pretty much bails on electric cars. Satellite radio, that just got more expensive. When is it cheaper to fly? There's an app for that.
So basically what you do is it's an app and a website. So if you don't have it's an app on iOS, but if you don't have an iOS phone, it's also a website. Now what you do is you punch in where you are, you punch in where you want to drive to. So for example, San Francisco and Atlanta, Georgia. And what it'll do is once you give it the make and model of your vehicle, it will decide, it'll look at your highway fuel economy. It'll look at fuel prices along the way. It'll look at how big the car's gas tank is, so it'll know how often you're going to need to stop. And then it'll look at fuel prices at those intervals and tell you, oh, it'll cost about this much to drive from San Francisco to Atlanta.
That's pretty cool.
So you can see things. It gets really interesting and modular where, for example, a Smart for 2 and Jetta TDI, they cost about the same to drive, but that for 2's only got like a 9-gallon tank. So you're going to have to stop way more often. So it's like you can do a lot of really cool, interesting things here as far as digging through that sort of information.
But the coolest part is they compare it to flights, it looks like.
Right. There's integration with Kayak, and that's a trip planning service. So it'll also show you how much the same trip would cost if you just flew. Now, it doesn't take into account things like how many times you're going to have to stop at a hotel along the way and what's the rental car going to cost when you get there.
Yeah.
But as far as just
getting A to B
out of like how much is it going to cost me from A to B? Yeah.
Interesting.
It's kind of cool.
Right.
And the reason I looked this up is because, as you guys know, last month I drove to LA to spend like 5 hours with a Camry. And everyone always said like, hey,
and that's about a 10, 12-hour round trip.
10-hour round trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
booking.
People asked me if it would have just been cheaper to fly. I didn't know. So retroactively, I looked it up on the app.